Hello there! Funko and Target have recently teamed up to create a very cool series of figures for the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. Welcome to Unboxing the Boxes, my Star Wars collection. This is episode 184, the Funko Pop Target exclusive Jabba Skiff collection. During the last half of 2023, there was a 6-piece collection of Funko Pop bobblehead figures available only at Target based on the characters found on Jabba's skiff during Return of the Jedi. Each figure was one part of the skiff, so you got the figure and you got a piece of the skiff at the bottom. Collect all 6 figures and you could put them together to form the whole skiff. A nice bonus of this is that all of these figures were part of the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. Now, before I make myself feel older than I already do, I think it's time to look at these Funko Pops and let's put them together and see how they all look, all 6 pieces put together. But now, before I start, got a little piece of trivia for you. And this bit of trivia is from Return of the Jedi, and I found on the Internet Movie Database. So this is the information from the IMDb. How many people did it take to work the full-size animatronic of Jabba the Hutt? Once again, how many people did it take to work the full-size animatronic of Jabba the Hutt? I'll answer that later in the video, and what those people all did. So the first one of the 6 figures is Luke Skywalker. And as we can see with Luke Skywalker here, he has, I guess you could say, a middle part of the skiff. Of course, he's holding his lightsaber, ready for a battle. You know, seeing that I'm going to take these out anyway, we may as well take it out right at the beginning and see what it actually looks like. One thing I've noticed with the packaging, and I don't know if you can see it real well through the packaging, but there is a backdrop card in the back of the box, kind of featuring a bit of Tatooine. So let's open them up and find out what we have here. So there we have it. Luke Skywalker and his little piece of the skiff that they tried to feed him to the Sarlacc from. Now, I notice, first of all, the bobblehead is working very well. It is a great figure of Luke Skywalker. And one thing we can see is that there are going to be some joint pieces here for the next piece to fit into. For example, on the right side of it, we've got one piece sticking out, one piece sticking in. On the other side, both pieces stick in. And I suppose that's so that we can figure out which piece goes together on each side of this. So each one is going to have a little different configuration there. We do have the Star Wars logo on the front of the skiff, which I've got a feeling we're going to have 6 Star Wars logos on the front by the time we're all done with this. But there is Luke Skywalker. And by the way, that is what the backdrop looked like in his box. One other thing, for those of you that keep track, is this figure is number 618. So these figures actually go in a row. We don't have spaces between them, which is kind of nice. The next one, otherwise known as 619, is Chewbacca. So let's get Chewbacca out of the box and take a look at what he's got. All right, with Chewbacca, it looks like we have the front of the skiff guard. So Luke did not have the front, Chewbacca does. And when we look at the figure, a very nice bobblehead. I think this is actually one of my favorite bobbleheads of Chewbacca. He looks really good here. I really like the mouth, the facial expression on him. It looks like he means business here. He doesn't have his bowcaster or anything there. It looks like he's just trying to keep himself from falling overboard. And there's one other little detail here I like. We actually have a little damage on the skiff. Now, it looks like Chewbacca, we have 2 parts that are prodding out. So I would be willing to bet that these 2 do not go together. Those two parts do not fit here with Luke. So somebody's got to go between them. Is it one piece or two pieces that got to go between? Well, we've got to start. Oh, by the way, remember how I sometimes forget what I have? Well, I have two Chewbaccas. Luckily, that is the only one I have a double of for this particular one. Although sometimes things go on sale, and if it goes on sale enough, maybe I'll get enough for two sets. Number 620 is Han Solo. Let's get him out of the box and take a look at him. Oh, by the way, before I open this up, I just got to show you the back of the box here. It shows that there are 6 figures as part of this collection, and as each one came out, they filled in that blank space to let you know that you are working toward the series. So with this one, of course, we've got Luke Skywalker, Chewbacca, and Han Solo. 3 more to come. It does have the numbers of them, and they're a little hard to tell sometimes. Of course, the last one there, I think we know who that last one's going to be. Okay, with Han Solo, a very plain portion of the skiff. You'll notice there are no railings on each side of Han. Although Han does have his, I don't know if that was actually a part of a rifle or a prodding, cattle prod type thing. I'm not sure. Again, his head moves around fairly nicely. And overall, it is a great figure of Han. I like it. It is nicely done. We have a couple pieces here and a couple inner pieces. And on this one, I noticed that there's also a piece on the base that will fit into the next part. So Funko's doing a pretty good job of making sure that you're going to get these in the right order when they are put together. So we'll just, for right now, we'll just place him next to Chewie here. We'll keep them in order as we unbox these. 621 is Lando Calrissian. And of course, he is wearing his gear to hide as one of the guards. And we never find out how in the world he got himself on the skiff, but luckily for us, he did. And let's open him up quick and take a quick look at what we have there. All right, Lando is another figure that does not have any railing on the skiff that we can see. And here again, we do have 2 points of contact here, 1 point down there, and same on the other part. So I guess we have 3 points of contact with each of the skiffs to fit them all together. As far as the figure goes, I like the way the helmet fits on him. It hides his face pretty well. I was hoping maybe the face guard would go down a little bit so you could actually see the face of Lando a little better. But like I said in a previous video, they even do a nice job of detailing on the back of the figures. So there is Lando, number 4 of the series, number 621 for those of you keeping track. The next one, number 622, is Nikto, the skiff guard. One of the guys that helps push the people off and feed the Sarlacc, who's down in his pit. So what does Nikto look like? It's kind of hard to tell on the camera through the boxes, of course. So let's find out. Okay, Nikto is actually one of the biggest pieces of the collection here. He's got the other end from Chewbacca. And just look at the size of this thing. Now granted, overall, they're about the same, but because we have the railing around him and the fins on the back here and so forth, this is a bigger piece. It's actually a very nicely done piece. The detailing on Nikto is very nice. Tell the truth, if I was going to buy a double, instead of having a double of Chewbacca, I should have had a double of Nikto. I just got to try something here quick. Nope, it's not going to work. I just wonder if we can make a mini skiff with these two, but the pieces are not going to line up very well. So Nikto is I would say out of these pieces, I like Nikto the best so far. Of course, we have one more piece to look at, but I don't think it's going to be as fancy as this one. But let's take a look and see what we got. The last one, of course, is number 623, and that would be Boba Fett. And as we can see with, you probably can't see it through the packaging again. Let's get them out of the box so we can talk about them. Boba Fett was the last piece to come out for the series. And actually, I had to wait until after the first of the year before I could pick him up, because he hadn't been released earlier than that. And there we have it. Boba Fett, and as we can see with Boba Fett, we have a little extra here. We do have railing in the front and back, but the nicest thing about Boba Fett, other than the design, and the design of Boba Fett is really well done. We do have the dent in his helmet. It looks like he is getting ready to shoot some people, but the best part is we have the rockets blasting him into the sky. So a nice little addition for the Boba Fett figure. I would say out of these figures, this one is probably my second favorite. I still think I like Nikto better, but this one is a really cool figure, especially with the details of him blasting off. So there is number 623, Boba Fett. Well, there's the 6 figures. So now we just have to figure out what order they actually go into. Now we know Nikto is one end, and we know Chewbacca is the other end, because they've got the end of the skiff. So now we just have to figure out what pieces go where to form the whole thing. Now Nikto has 3 parts that are jutting out here to fit in the next piece. And if we look at the other figures, there are 2 that do have parts to fit pieces into, but if we look closely at those pieces, you can see they are different shapes. So now we have to find out which shape of this one fits into these, and to tell the truth, looking it over, it looks like it's Lando. So Lando is next to, and these 2 are almost touching. They are just a fraction of an inch apart from each other. Okay, so we've got the 2 parts there. Lando also has 3 parts sticking out. And let's see, I got a feeling that Boba Fett, yes, Boba Fett is the next piece to add to it. Now we have 2 pieces sticking out and 1 area going in. And, well, Han has 3 pieces sticking out here. So it's going to have to be Luke. Yep, Luke's got 1 sticking out, 2 sticking in. So there we go. We've got Luke. And of course, that would mean Han Solo would have to go there. And Chewbacca go there. So there we have it. The whole set of Jabba's Skiff Guard put together. And to tell the truth, I think this looks awesome. I think this is one of the best sets that Funko has come out with. And it's a great set to add to the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. There was a lot of thought given into this one. And now we can see, yes, with Lando's and Han's, no railing on either side, so they could push people off of those sides. Railing in the middle for these 2 and railings on the end. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments what you think of this complete set. I like it. It is great. I don't really want to put these back in the box, to tell the truth. I need to find a place where I can actually display these. And you know me, I don't display things very often outside the box. But this one almost demands that I find a shelf or something to put these on. And I don't know where I'm going to find that. So we'll have to play around with that and see what happens. Now, before we end this video, we need to answer that trivia question, correct? And the question was, once again, how many people did it take to work the full-size animatronic of Jabba the Hutt? And of course, I found this on the Internet Movie Database. And the answer is 6. And these are the people it took. 3 people fit inside, 2 to operate the arms, head, and tongue, and another to move the tail. And if you've seen anything with the behind-the-scenes stuff of Return of the Jedi, you know the one operating the tail was a little person. There was a man lying below the puppet, pulling the strings to make Jabba's mouth and make his sides heave. There were 2 radio operators controlling the slimy goon's eyes, including the pupil dilation, direction, and wideness of the eyelids. A final crew member was responsible for rubbing gel on the puppet to give Jabba his slimy look. And to tell you the truth, he did a really good job because Jabba was thoroughly disgusting, which they did a good job bringing that character to life. So there we have it. 6 people it took to make Jabba come to life. Almost makes me want to get Jabba and Silicious Crumb piece out and put next to this. But you know, that's from the throne room, which really doesn't go with the skiff here very well. And once again, I have to say, I do like this skiff. It is great looking. Well, what do you think about it? Is this something you're going to go out quick and try to find all the pieces for? I know if you haven't started right from the start with Luke and Chewbacca, you might have a tough time finding all 6 pieces now unless you go online and try to find them through third parties, which means you're going to pay more for them. This came together better than I thought it would. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think of this. And of course, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notifications bell so that you're notified when new videos come out. Until next time, make sure you stay off the skiff because you don't want to fall into the Sarlacc pit, of course. But may the Force be with you, and keep collecting.